Okay, my friends, it's Roger once again. Today, I want to share this with you. Every day I get up, I have dozens of things to investigate. People are very, very generous about the way they send things. Now, this is hold on, this is from Be Inspired, 5.86 million subscribers. Now, this is Greg Braden's voice. If you want to listen to this, I'm not going to play it because they have copyright disclaimer on this. And I'm doing it under the Fair Use Act, where I'm not making any money or anything. I'm just trying to expose things of our past and try to make sense out of where we are and where we're going. Now, he's a fabulous job, though, so you should come up here and watch this. But what they're talking about, what is in these ancient texts that's so valuable? Now you're going to see what it is. What they speak about is the Gospel of Thomas is what we're going to look at right now. All right, now what they're really saying is that all of these ancient traditions have the same basic story. They're all telling there's a field of energy, there's some kind of energy, and it's exactly what I'm saying. And we could actually work with that energy. Now, this is the actual pages that is in this monastery that they are going to go through their video, and it's a nice video, so you should watch it. Now, let's talk about my interpretation of the Gospel of Thomas and some of the sayings that are in there that relate to mud fossils. Because mud fossils is the revelation of, in my opinion, God's Word and the fact of creation. It blows Darwinism out of the woods, and it puts a whole new spin on everything. I don't care how you look at it, it is a new spin on everything. Alright, if you've been around Mudfossil University, you know I have DNA certified giant human beings, huge, and there are ones around the earth that are much huger. Now, what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at the giant dragon and a giant fish that is where the Sahara Ocean was, that drained out. And there's a giant fish. He's being attacked by a giant dragon. And this is where the Sahara Ocean drained into the Atlantic when Atlantis collapsed. It was just outside the Straits, as they said. Never, what is it said, the Straits of Hercules. It was outside the Straits. Duh, it's outside the Straits. Plato said, never will as much mud run, or they will never speak of mud again. Something like that. This thing's like wider than, it's gigantic. It's actually identical to what Plato said. Identical. And I have found it's very likely, let me look at this carefully, that the boats could possibly still be in the slips, which these are the boat slips. And there's areas, I'd have to go and look real careful because I found them, that there's some still in there. But they go here and they offload it, and then they came to this side, and then they channeled over from this side over to here, and then over to here. It's just what it was. It was just completely surrounded by boat slips. Those are boat slips. You go to anybody that knows marinas and all that business, they understand. And I'm telling you, I found where the boats really are. Oh, here's some maybe right there. All right, there might be some right there. Something's growing in there, some trees or something. But they're right where you would expect the boat docks are. There was a lot of them. I'm not just talking a few. You see? Oh, there we go. Here we go. They're down in this area here. See? Well, why is it right in these little slips? What is this? That looks like some kind of storage building. Why they go poop, poop, poop? Brrr, look at them all down here. And that is... how could you possibly miss this stuff? So you have Google Earth. Now, so here's Atlantis. Here's a giant fish being attacked by a giant dragon that spit this dragon stuff on him to kill him. and it ate into his fin and tore it up in his vital flesh, and it is as nasty as stuff, and it does look almost identical to the most serious snake venoms. Look at that. And that's where it hit there and combusted on the fish's fin. And the whole thing came down all over that fish and obviously damaged his vital flesh. Now, killed him? I don't know. Now, what about this dragon? Well, here's the dragon, and here's the dragon flails. They all have these little flails that hang off the side of their it's like a beard they all have. Now, what is this down here? Well, that's his nose. It's coming up across. There's that little fluty stuff they have. I believe that's his eye. It's a little hard to determine that for a fact, but that's the fluty stuff that they have. You see them all in the parades, and the fuzzy stuff behind it. And what is this? Well, that's his dragon-scaled throat. All right, it goes right down here, down his dragon-scaled throat. All right, see that? See that? I mean, come on. That's dragon scales, 100%. Now, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of dragons laying around here to look at to compare to, but I could tell you what, if you go to China and go down in some of their parades, you could compare that right to it there. Now, so here's what we got. Dragon scales, we got a dragon throat, we got dragon fluty stuff going down the dragon's throat. Right down there. Now, what happens down his throat here? It just keeps going and going and going. I mean, we're talking hundreds of miles. This thing is over 1,000 miles long. But look at this. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened here? Something cut that dragon's throat. Now, I don't know who or what or when or how or what could possibly do that. However, I fully understand biology and decomposition and the emanations of the body and the way all of these things, the colors they turn, the metals that are in fluids of living creatures. This 100%, zero possibility of wrongness is the bleeding bleed out of a dead, a dying creature, which is a dragon. And that is what I call the effluence of the body as they decompose. This is the area of demarcation of the bodily fluids that are flowing from the decomposing tissues. And they will be surrounding the entire creature, and the entire creature is entirely huge. That is where the tale begins to end, and I believe the final ending is there. Now, this, as I can show you, is quite obviously also decomposing in the same manner, in the same distance, in the same way, using the same transition metals from the same dragon scales. And then this stuff is the fluty ending of the tail somewhere way down here. All this jazzy looking stuff, you see that? It's like flutes at the end. All right, so knowing this and understanding that this is decomposing carcasses of creatures. Now let's take a look at what the Gospel of Thomas had to say. Okay, my friends, before I get into the text here that we're going to be talking about, I want to make a couple statements. I have people surrounding me that are as good as any religious scholar that's ever consumed oxygen, or is currently consuming oxygen. All right, anybody that's alive right now, these people are as good. All right, and he's, oh, they're not religious scholars. They can read. They have read these texts inside and out, and they know them as well as anyone. However, they don't have the mindset of the religious scholars that wants to interpret everything when we found out that everything is literally word for word almost exactly what they had written. All right? Show me one of these religious scholars that knew about the dragon or the fish or any of the giants being miles tall, literally. Now, Enoch wrote that. They took his book out of the Bible. They took this book out of the Bible. They took a ton of books out of the Bible, and my people and myself read those books. We left no text behind. Remember when they had No Child Left Behind? Well, we have no text left behind. Tyson is a biblical archive. He knows every word that's been written in the Bible, the chapters, the verses, the who said it, how they lived their lives, where they lived, the town that they came from, how they interacted with everybody. He is 100%. Jody has been studying very hard on a ton of ancient texts. Of all of the ones that were considered just, mythical, obviously crazy stuff, no. That's not the world I live in. All right, I'm very familiar with Hesiod, Hesiod, whatever you want to call it, Ovid, all of those, Plato and Socrates, and all of those, even like the ancient doctors, Hippocrates, and all that stuff. I love that stuff. And we read all these things, and then I have gone out and found the evidence, DNA certified evidence, that proves a lot of the things that we're talking about, and the other things that I don't literally have DNA evidence for. I have actual evidentiary stuff that you can look at, and the chemistry's there. It just has to be investigated. Nobody's investigating. So when I look at this kind of stuff, I say, well, hey, everything else I found out was true. This could be true as well. And guess what this says? This is the Gospel of Thomas. And who was he? He was Doubting Thomas. These are the secret sayings the living Jesus spoke, and Didymus Judas Thomas recorded. That is Doubting Thomas. He was one of the original guys. Now, what did he say? And he said, meaning Jesus, whoever discovers an interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. That's pretty powerful. Now, number 2, what did he say next? He says, Jesus said, those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. If you don't seek, screw you, you're done. But if you seek, don't stop until you find. And make sure you find what you find. Don't just, oh yeah, that must be it. When they find, they're going to be disturbed. That's a fact. And when you are disturbed, you will marvel. That is a fact. And then you will reign over all. That could be. And after they have reigned, they will rest. All right, so that's the group I want to be in with. Now, how do you know to get in that group? Who's the big guys? Who's the top guys? Well, guess what? I came up to these 56 and 80 are extremely well written, I thought. Jesus said, whoever has come to know the world has discovered a carcass. And whoever has discovered a carcass, of that person the world is not worthy. If you've been here at Mudfossil University, I think you have discovered a carcass. So if you really discovered it and you were able to accept it and you were able to incorporate it into your understanding of how history plays into the reality of what was written, and then maybe you can find some meaning, maybe you will live forever. And maybe the world is not, well, I can tell you one thing right now. The world is not worthy of anyone that has any integrity anymore. I'm telling you, it's I won't go there. Anyway. Now, so we got 56. Well, it says, he who has, so we know carcasses everywhere. The earth is a carcass. Case closed. Now, what else is the earth? Number 80 was also quite illuminative, I thought. And it says, Jesus said, who has come to know the world has discovered the body. And whoever has discovered the body, of that one the world is not worthy. Now, what is the body? The earth is literally a creature, and it is a body. On top of it is a bunch of dead carcasses. So I think we covered our bases here. All right, and here Jesus said, "Whoever is near me is near the fire, and whoever is far from the fire is far from Father's kingdom." I've been close to that fire for a long time. I'm hoping I can make it, Jesus. Just help me, bro. I'm doing the best I can. All right, well, that's it for today, my friends.